Hello everyone, this is Bankola DME again, this time around with a video on how we can make use of Google Forms. Google Forms is a site or part of the G Suite that we use for several purposes. It can be used for creating souvenirs that will be sent to people online that will be filled and returned back to you. You can also use it for creating surveys through which you ask of people's opinion and so on and so forth. But for us as teachers, it is even more important because we can use Google Forms to create quizzes. And by that, I mean that you can set your questions in quiz form, attach marks to the questions, and you have Google mark it for you automatically and even send the report to the students instantly. So that is what I want to show us in this video, how we can go about it. The very first step is to launch any of your browsers, whether Opera Mini, Chrome, UC browser, or whichever one you use. In my own case, I want to make use of Chrome, so I'll launch my Chrome browser. When you get there, on the bar where you can search, the search bar, you type create Google Forms. I've been there not long ago, that is why you can see this here, so I'll click on it. Afterwards, you click go to Google Forms. Here we are. So this is the page where you can create your Google Forms. But before you start creating your questions or your quizzes, let me quickly explain some basic things that you need to know if you want to use this form maximally. First thing, you should note that this symbol here indicates the email account that is being used. If, for example, you have more than one email account on your phone and you want to use a specific one, then you need to pay attention to this to know the one you want to choose. If, for example, I don't want to use this particular one, I'll click on it. It will ask me if there's another one I want to use, and I'll choose that. But I'm okay with this one, so that's the one I want to use. Apart from that, there is these three dots here. This is the options icon. When you click on it, it will give you a list of options that you can choose from. Part of them is the preview, setting, undo, and so on and so forth. So for someone that wants to create quizzes, the person has to go to the settings first to ensure he sets it to quizzes, because the default type of question that you can set with Google Form is questionnaire or survey, not quizzes. So you need to go and change it to quizzes. So you come here, you keep dragging it to the right until you see quizzes. So you click on quizzes. After that, you click on this, you enable this, make this a quiz. You enable it, and the rest will be done. So after that, you click on save. So whatever you set now as your questions will be in form of quizzes that will be assigned points and that Google can mark for you automatically. The next thing now is you can see untitled form. You have to title your form. What is it about? Let's say, for example, you are the class teacher of Basic 6 and you want to give them some work to do, or just any class for that matter. So you click on untitled form and you name it Basic 6. This quiz you want to create is in which subject? Let's say, for example, it's on computer. Let's say computer cues. Computer test, for example. That is okay. Now, before we go further, to make your work very beautiful and user-friendly and attractive to students, there are some additions you can do to it to make it look more beautiful. For example, you can click on this icon here, this color palette icon. When you click on it, you'll be able to change some settings, the color you want to use, how you want it to appear. For example, I want it to appear in green color. I will choose the green color here. Apart from that, if I want a header. I want an image to be displayed where I've written my title. I'll click on this, choose an image. So it will give you a list of options. Here, work and school. What we are doing is related to work and school. So you can choose that. If the one you are doing is not related to that, you can choose any other one. So there are several images here that you can choose from. Let me see the one that I like. I think I'm okay with this one. So you click on it, then you click insert. So it will be inserted there. Afterwards, you click on apply at this right point here. So as you can see now, it has brought the image here, making my work even more beautiful than the way it was before. After this, the next thing is to go to setting of the questions. How do you set questions? It's very simple. You just come here, you can see untitled question. You click on it, it will be highlighted and you can type your first question. Number 1, for example, which of these is not an input device. So that is the question. Now, do you want to give the children options to choose from, or you don't want to give them options? That's another beautiful thing about Google Forms. The answer can come in different ways. Depending on what you want, you just click on this bar. Is it multiple choice? If it's multiple choice, that means you want to give them options to choose from. So, but before then, let's explore the available options we have. You click on it. You can see you use short answer if you want the student to write their answer but very briefly, and you choose paragraph if you want them to write an essay for you, a very long sentence or sentences, or multiple choice if you want to give them options from which they will choose the right one, or check boxes, and so on and so forth. In this case, I want multiple choice, so I'll leave it as multiple choice or click multiple choice. Now, how do I put my options? How do I write my options? Very simple. Just come here, click on option 1. When you click upon option 1, for example, my question is which of these is not an input device? So I'll put my options. The first one is keyboard. Written there. Okay, that's option A. If I want to write another option, I'll click on add option, not this other one, add order. No, you click on add option. If you click on add order, it will perform some other function that you do not want. So you click on add option. So option 2 now, let's say mouse. Option 3, the same way, you click on add option. Let's say monitor. And option 4, let's say microphone. Okay, so I have put all my options there. Now the next thing is which one is the right answer that I want Google to take as the right answer for me, to enable it to be able to mark it, because Google will not know the right answer unless you tell it the right answer. We have learned in computer that it is garbage in, garbage out. Whatever you give to computer is what it gives back to you. So it is the settings that you put in your form that Google is going to use to mark your work, or the respondent, your student, when they do it. So it does not know the answer here unless you tell it the correct answer. And the correct answer is monitor. Monitor is not an input device. The other ones are input devices. So how do I tell it that that's the answer I want to mark as the right answer? You come here, this blue box with a check mark, you click on it. So the first thing to ask you is that how many points do you want to attach to this question? Let's say 2 points. You type 2 points there. Then you now choose the correct answer, and the answer is monitor. Just click on it. After that, you click done. In this way, you have set your number 1 question. Now, if you want to add another question, go to the question number 2. You just click on this icon at the bottom here, this plus icon here. When you click on this plus icon, it will take you to another page where you can set question. So question number 2, you type it the same way. To save our time, just blah 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 blah. Then the options the same way. Or if you don't want the option to be like that, you want the option to be fill in the gap, you want the student to write the option, you can also do that too. How do we do that? Okay, let me write something here. Let's say mention an output device. Just for example, output device. You can see this question now, it can never be a multiple choice question because I want children to mention something. I want them to mention something. So it cannot be multiple choice. I'm not giving them options. I want them to be the ones to supply the options themselves. So I'll come here, I will not choose multiple choice. I'll give them a list of options. Excuse me. So short answer. So I'll choose short answer. So they will write whichever one they feel is an output device. But what will be my own answer? My own answer. To know my own answer, I will click on this like I did earlier on, and I will now write the possible answers. Firstly, how many points? Let's say 2 points again. Then add the correct answer. It's asking me to add the correct answer. So I want to write the correct answer now. Output devices are printer, monitor, speaker, etc, and so on and so forth. There are more than this, but just for illustration purposes, I will stop at this. So look at this here. It says mark all other answers as incorrect, meaning that if the child writes anything outside of these ones, it should be marked incorrect. But if the child writes any of these, it will be marked correct. So I'll click on it. But if you are to use this kind of question, that means you have to write all the possible output devices in the world. You have to write it, because perhaps there is an output device you have not written here and the child writes it. You know, the child is right, but that is not part of the options you have given to Google to mark for you. So that is why you should be very careful in using this type of questions. So this is the much I want to take in this video. I will come your way with another video so that this will not be too voluminous. Thank you for your time. Bye bye.